guys, welcome back to my channel. I guess I can officially say welcome back because now this is a second video I am posting on this channel. The first video, the link will be in the description down below, was just a little introduction about who am I, where I come from, what's my story, how I came into America, and what I plan to share on this channel. So in that video, I also say that the first couple of videos I'm going to make here are just going to be general about American life, the culture, people here, so you can kind of get a picture and the feel of some of my experiences and my opinions about living here. And then later on, I think I'll get into some more specifics and show you a little snippets of American life. I'm even thinking of taking you guys vlogging one day with me to show you a typical day in a life of one foreigner in America. I'll show you how I go shopping, just how I do my work and different things. So today what I wanted to talk about is some common stereotypes that I hear about Americans and the life here in USA and whether they're true or false based on my experience and my stories here. So I watched a lot of videos on YouTube, just people interviewing Europeans, Asians, New Zealanders, Australians, just people from all over the world, what their opinions are and what's the first thing that comes to their head when somebody asks them, what do you think about USA? I also read a couple of articles, and I also took into consideration my personal experience with people asking me about America, my life here, and kind of what their conceptions are or misconceptions are about the life here. And like any good student, I also wrote them down in my notebook, so I don't leave any of them out. I did write a whole list of different misconceptions that not misconceptions, different stereotypes that I got from people when they think about Americans and life here, but I think I'm just gonna share the top 5 because I did notice there are top 5s that are going through a majority of what people are saying. So, stereotype number 1. I guess I kind of hate a little bit to start with this one, but I'm sure it came to a lot of people's minds as well, and that's the one I get most often, and it's usually said as a joke, and that stereotype is that all Americans are fat. Is that true or false? Of course, that's false. Not all Americans are fat. I will say that, of course, obesity is a problem in this country, and that's acknowledged. I think it's even being treated as a public health issue, and the government and everybody's trying to do whatever they can to combat that problem. But not all Americans are fat, and actually, a lot of them, especially in the neighborhood where I live, there's a lot of gyms everywhere, and I see people running on the side of the street all the time. I did notice that especially younger generations, like my generation of let's just say old millennials, are really changing their habits, changing the way they eat, the way they view food, the way they think about food. And I am seeing a whole lot of gluten-free, lactose-free, organic produce everywhere, and people are willing to pay extra for the healthy food. So definitely the consciousness about health and fitness and your overall well-being here, it really is growing. And I think the younger generations here are the ones that are gonna drive the path towards that change to kind of help create a solution to this obesity problem. So, stereotype number 1, all Americans are fat, is completely false. Depends on where you are. Yes, you will see fat people, but you will see fat people everywhere. But you also see fat people here working out in the gym, trying to get better. You also see very fit people here. So it really is a stereotype that all Americans are fat. They do have easier access to fast food than other places. I do have to admit that. Fast food here is very cheap. It's around on every corner, and that's also part of the issue. And based on my experience, healthy food is a little bit more expensive. So for a struggling family who's just trying to get their bills together or survive the month, of course, it'll make more sense to go to fast food and feed their entire family for like $10 when they can go and buy, like, I don't know, peppers and potatoes for $10 in a store, and what are you going to do with that? So that's stereotype number 1. Let's go to stereotype number 2. So stereotype number 2, let's go back to my notebook to see what I wrote here, is that America and the cities in America are just like in the movies. That's definitely a stereotype that I had as somebody growing up in Bosnia. All we would watch is really American movies, and I grew up watching Sex and the City. So New York City for me was the place I needed to visit. It was this magical land where I needed to walk down the Fifth Avenue like Carrie Bradshaw. I needed to go to Central Park and go to all these fancy stores. I think every girl at some point had this fantasy, or I guess cities like that are Los Angeles, I don't know, Chicago, like some bigger cities. And I do think that people tend to over-centralize those places, and of course not every city is like the way you see it in the movies. For example, when I went to New York City, I visited all those places I wanted to visit, Carrie's apartment, the Fifth Avenue, Times Square and everything. But at the end of my trip, I kind of felt that it didn't, I wasn't as amazed as I was expecting it to, as I was expecting myself to be. But I think that's because I set my expectations way too high. Of course, I was just watching a show that was presenting only the prettiest, the best views and areas of the city, but every city has its good and bad parts. On the other hand, there are a lot of cities here that are not that well known, I guess, in the entertainment industry. They're so spread all over the world. For example, I live in Pittsburgh. It's not a very well-known city here in Pennsylvania, but I absolutely love it. There's so much diversity. You still get the little touch of the city living, because we do have a nice downtown area, but you also get the safe suburbs around. We have a lot of national parks around us. So that's, for example, one of the cities that I really never thought about, but it surprised me in a really good way. It depends on what the energy that you're gonna bring into the place when you're visiting it, and I think it's important to not set any extremely high expectations. Just come to a place if you're visiting it and let it tell its story to yourself. Don't base your whole expectations on a movie or on a show like I did and then go and get a little bit disappointed. I still like the show and I still watch it though. Okay, so stereotype number 3. I guess this one hits close to home because now I'm in this area and it has to do with the corporate career work-life balance life here in America. I've been working for full-time for 3 years now, and I've had a chance to experience this on my own skin, I guess. And that stereotype is that Americans work a lot, they're very stressed out, and they don't have a good work-life balance. So for this one, I do have to say that it's true, but it really depends on the type of person you are, how driven you are, and how well you organize your time. If you're somebody that's gonna give their whole life to their career, that's what they're defined by, they really wanna just climb that corporate ladder, they don't care about their health, their mental well-being or anything else, then you're gonna have that problem in any country, not just in America. So I really think it is up to you. Why I think it's so more widespread here is that there's so many opportunities here. Like on every corner, every day, there's an opportunity to meet somebody new, to start something, to get that promotion, to get that big project that will get you a promotion. And I think the competition is so big because everybody's chasing the same, I guess, the same notion of the American dream, that you do find yourself stressed out. I had periods at my job where I would just feel myself getting into the rat race. 9 to 5, working overtime, coming home, eating dinner, going to bed, and getting to do it all over again the next day. But then being somebody who is aware of when I'm not happy, I'm feeling stressed out, it's not what I want to do. I'm not somebody who will jump back into more work just not to think about those problems. So it really is up to you. I was able to take a step back, create some new routines, start going to the gym, bring back that work-life balance, and then everything's working out fine. I still got that promotion, but I didn't overwork myself. I still managed to have a life outside of work. So with that being said, that stereotype is true, but I think that stereotype will be true anywhere depending on the person you are. It's just that here it's much easier to get caught in that rat race because it is just so very competitive. So this stereotype kind of leads me into my next one, which is stereotype number 4. And that one is this notion of the American dream. And that is 100% true. Americans really do love and believe in their whole American dream story here, and they celebrate success, and they absolutely love the Drax to Riches story when somebody is pretty much homeless or has like the last $10 in their pocket, and they end up making it really big, becoming famous, helping everybody, making millions of dollars. They really like stories like that because that's an example of how everything is possible here if you put in the work, have a little bit of luck, have a good idea, and are willing to work hard for your dreams, that you really can make it here. And that really is true here. That really is. Like every day you go out and there's just this feeling above you that honestly anything can happen. You can meet somebody, you can talk to somebody new that knows somebody who can help you or point you in the right direction or give you a card to somebody else. The possibilities here are honestly endless. I think I am in my own little bubble, in my own little world. For me, I am a representation of an American dream on a very small scale. I was a little girl who grew up in a war-torn country in former Yugoslavia. I had a little tennis racket that I bought in a flea market in my home country for, I think it was like $1 or $2. I played tennis, rode my bike every day there and back for like an hour, did that for several years. But now that little girl that was playing tennis was able to pay for her college through her playing tennis, then move into her own apartment, work for a very big pharmaceutical company, live on her own here in America. So for me, in my reality, like I said, my little bubble, I think I'm definitely living that American dream. I've never even dreamed that all of this would be possible for me. So I'm insanely grateful every day that I get to live this life and experience everything that I did for only being 24 years old. So that brings me into my last stereotype for this video, number 5. And that is that it's easy to succeed here and that it's easy to make money. That one is completely false. I think I've heard this a lot from, I guess, my friends back from my home country, where they think there's always a joke like, oh, money grows on trees, money is just going around everywhere, and that's definitely not true. Like I said in some of my stories before, is that it's really competitive here. Everybody's coming here for the same reason, which is to succeed, to give it their best, to try and accomplishing their dreams. In a sense, it is easy because you do have an access to so many opportunities here. So for example, I can be doing a full-time job right now, like I am, but I can also be working a part-time job after and be making double the money. Or I can be doing 2 full-time jobs if I wanted to, because I do have opportunities for that. I can drive my car for Uber or Lyft or Point Pickup and make money pretty much whenever I want to, especially now that I'm working from home. You do have those opportunities that I think are more, it's not like you don't have them in other countries, but I think they're just easily accessible here. For example, this thing, like all you need is a phone, and you can literally start your little online business through your phone using different apps. You can sell your clothes, you can sell furniture on Facebook Marketplace and make like $200-300 a month that you can use to put in your like side hustle or something. But it does require work like anywhere else because it is very competitive. A lot of people are trying to do the same thing. People from all over the world come here, so you do have to put your best foot forward when you're trying to succeed here. It is very possible. The money does not grow on trees. There definitely is a very big opportunity to make a lot of money if you do your due diligence, you show up to an opportunity, and you do your work. Okay guys, so those are the top 5 stereotypes that I usually get when people ask me about how it is to live here. What do I think about Americans, their culture here, and the lifestyle. I hope this helped bring some insight into the lifestyle here. As I said in my first video, these are just my personal opinions. This is what I think about these things. This is some of the experiences I've been through, which of course shaped the way I think about these things. But I hope this brings you a different perspective about some of the things you may commonly hear about American people and life here. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'll make sure I read them. And if you have any video requests, let me know. I'll be happy to make it. And I'll see you next time in my next video, number 3. Bye guys!